Welcome back to Tacks. We are your host, friend,
And Hayden.
and today we have a very special guest, your Metro Pro Wrestling Heritage Champion, Jack Delaney.
Jack Delaney.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Happy to support.
Thank you.
Means a lot. And Hayden, do you want to ask the first question, or?
Sure. We have a couple of questions for you, Jack, just to start off tonight's
Sounds good,
podcast.
man. Hit me with them.
And for the first one I got is, what got you into wrestling as a whole?
Oh, what got me? I mean, it was really just a thing that, I can't think of a time when, I wasn't into wrestling.
Mhm.
But at least when I was little, because it was, my dad, my uncle, my brother. It was just a whole family thing, that sort of experience. Same thing for, stuff like football and that.
Mhm.
It's you just, watch it as a kid and you grow with it. And, I know for a lot of people, it's eventually they're out of it, but just never got out of it.
Who did you grow up watching when you first got into wrestling?
Dude, I must have been I didn't watch the weekly stuff. I watched a lot of old DVDs and stuff my uncle would get me. So there was a lot of old matches. There was a lot of Mick Foley. I remember I had an old Hell in a Cell DVD. So of course obviously you get a lot of him. I mean, I was 2010, 2011 when I first remember wrestling. So obviously Jeff Hardy is
Mhm.
everybody's favorite in the entire world at that point. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of those two, seeing what they could do.
All
It was good.
So with that being said, I know that you just won the championship and everything, but who has been your favorite opponent that you've versed, if in your career so far, if you had to pick one?
In my entire career,
Yeah.
it's hard not to say Forever Young. I mean, it was the guy who got me here. It was so much fun to get to wrestle him in front of a crowd. There's so much training with him, so to finally get to have that moment with him in the ring was it really meant a lot, because he was one of the first people who saw me during training and was you call my eye, man.
Yeah.
And that's why he eventually brought me with him to Metro Pro.
And that match was very good. You're talking about the one at the last Metro Pro show, right?
I am talking about that one. Yeah.
That was very good.
I was worried, man. It was a long show. I was worried the crowd wouldn't be with it. But once that bell rung, we got moving and the crowd got excited for it too. It was just a very good night all around.
Yep.
Speaking of Forever Young, this one kind of has to do with him, kind of doesn't. It really doesn't. I've seen him in exactly one death match type. Would you ever consider doing deathmatch wrestling?
Would that's a tough question, man. You're asking a guy who's never even been in a no holds bar or no disqualification type match. That question. It's a different type of wrestling. I've been to shows like Horror Slam. I've saw what those guys do there, and it's I can take some hard landings, but that's a different kind of pain. So that's one you'll have to wait on. Maybe if the story's there, maybe somebody really pisses me off. But I mean, I'm pretty good with where I'm at right now, considering how I'm wrestling.
Yeah. And I know that you're versing Lila Hall at the next Metro Pro Wrestling show.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Who is one person who's your dream opponent? Other than Forever Young, because I know you said him, but there's one person the infield or anything you really want to verse. Who would it be?
From the indies, I wouldn't consider it a dream opponent, but just somebody in general I really want to verse. Caden Monroe from XICW.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I got to know pretty early on, and I don't know if anybody knows that. We're the same age, so definitely seeing him and where he was at same age definitely gave me a lot of drive when I was training to get better.
Speaking of Lila Hall, she's in the chat and she said something.
Oh,
She did. She was in the chat. She said, out of all people you pick, Jack to be on your live, and she just said "ew" in a completely different message.
Yeah, that makes sense from her. She's a little petty like that. But keep it up.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a reason that they're asking me to talk in front of the camera and not you.
Yeah. So what did that moment like mean to you when you won the championship? What like words would describe it?
Oh, dude, it was like it just felt pretty amazing. Like I didn't think I've only been doing this for like a year, so to think after a year like I would be able to like hold something like this just in front of a crowd that was cheering me on, especially considering how I started.
Yeah.
It just felt amazing. I had a lot of family in the crowd. A lot of people were supporting me. Lots of people after the show. I always love when fans come up and just like tell me they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It all just felt really good. I appreciate a lot of the support I get from these people.
Yeah.
Leila Hall's talking a lot of smack in chat, but
Really? I can't
she's
even open
talking.
it up. I'm not gonna lie. The way I got my little system right now is can't open up, can't do nothing. But just let her talk. I mean, we're gonna see what happens. Eventually, she's gonna have to talk in front of the camera before our match, and I think that's what like we'll eventually see
Yeah.
kind of what
And
she's really made of.
I'm actually going for Jack Delaney in that match. So
I feel like everyone is.
Really? That means comment section the
I
past
picked.
few days.
I mean,
Oh, okay. Can you still hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, it's a bit laggy, but everything is still good.
Okay.
Sorry about
No,
that.
you're good.
I got one final question. One of the first shows I saw you at, I bought this content club picture. It's got most of you, and it kind of leads into: do you like tag team wrestling or solo wrestling more?
Uh, you're pretty much just asking me if I like Alex Lynch. um, I'd say when I got into wrestling, when I started training, my goal was not to be a tag team wrestler.
mhm.
So it definitely became something that I had to get used to quick because obviously, like, I wasn't handed opportunities like some people in the chat the moment they came out of training. I didn't get my own little poster. I've been handed everything. I actually had to work for what I got around here. So yeah, it was just something where I was like, Alex, he's a big, strong boy. I was like, he can do some work in there, and started tagging. Forever Young liked us. Eventually, you see the other guy in that picture, Nev. I don't know if you ever saw him wrestle.
I I don't think I've seen him wrestle, but I've seen him with Forever Young on the sidelines.
Yeah, seen him. I've not a lot of people have seen him wrestle. Okay, God knows where he is. But I definitely enjoyed working together with Alex, but I think in the long run for what us wanted, it wasn't going to work out. And eventually,
Yeah.
you don't see Alex Lynch at Metro Pro shows anymore.
Yeah.
So he's not there. I stayed. I worked through it. And from what I hear, he's doing pretty good. I know I'm doing pretty good with where I'm at.
Yeah.
So it
And
definitely.
also, speaking of that, you defined like the odds against Reynolds. It was just like Johnny Delicious and KJ Reynolds and everybody like going against you in that match, right? And like you were the underdog coming into that match. So I'm guessing that was like a lot of like you were probably really like worried going into that fight, you'd say, or no?
It's so hard not to be worried, especially like your first title match in Metro Pro to have it be against KJ Reynolds. I don't want to give him too much credit considering how he wrestles in Metro Pro, the guys he associates himself with, but he is genuinely like one of those guys you see and you're like, especially for me being like a leaner guy, I'm like, I want to move like that
Yeah.
eventually. He's so crisp, so clean. To get to wrestle him, besides the cheating and constantly being choked out by his manager, I had a great time.